Good evening and welcome everyone to another episode of Conversations with Anglicans. My name is Anica Ghent and I am from the parish of St. Jude, Arima. And today it is my absolute pleasure to be speaking with Rev Marc Samuel. He is attached to the parish of Holy Cross in Marabella, here in the Diocese of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Reverend Samuel, welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Great,
It is indeed
wonderful.
a privilege.
And so just so that we get the protocols out of the way, I can call you Reverend Samuel. Is that all right?
Yes, very yes.
Wonderful. So let's begin.
Sure.
If you can, Reverend Samuel, describe yourself in 3 words. Yes, 3 words. And maybe you can tell us why you choose.
I would not want to use 3 words. I would use 1 sentence, if you would permit.
Oh, certainly. Reverend Samuel.
Lest I come across as you know, bigging myself up. Self-praise is no praise at all.
Yes.
So I would go with, I am indeed a sinner, a child of God who continues to seek His grace. That is who I am.
I like that.
Thank you.
And speaking of child of God, I want to take you back a bit to the start of this journey for you. Can you share with us who or what inspired you to choose this vocation?
A collection of persons. I am a proud product of a village raising a child. And I really thank God for that experience, because there was a time when I knew church, but I did not know God. And it is because of a lot of persons, my immediate family and by extension, the church family and the community would have assisted in that. However, there is one person that began my role of ministry when I became People's Warden at the age of 18. And
13?
18. No,
oh, 18. Oh, sorry.
According to the regulations, 18, yes.
Well, I wondered what was happening there. Okay, 18, so wonderful.
18. And he is now deceased, God rest his soul, Mr. Reynold Huggins, from my home parish, St. Mark, Point Fortin. He just walked up to me that Sunday and said, "You going up to be People's Warden. How old are you?" I said, 18. "Okay, good. We will work with you. You don't worry." Ministry started.
Yes.
And really for him, for that being that one person that started that push and say, "Here what? I see that leadership quality in you."
Wonderful.
And not removing the community that has done their part.
Yeah.
But that one person that really stood out and say, "Take this leadership role. And I would walk with you, and you continue to have the support of the community." And that is where I am, why I am who I am today.
Oh, wonderful. I think that's inspiring to a lot of our young people in particular.
Yes.
We're not sure, if we can do it. And sometimes
that is true.
A little push,
Yes.
encouragement. Yes. Or someone to sometimes see something.
And a gentle word of encouragement too. Right? We have to know how to encourage also.
Oh, certainly. So since those days till now, describe for us how that journey has been for you.
Wow. It has been a journey. Physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It has been a journey. And I think that is what I would sum it up to be, a journey. A journey where one alone can fully understand. I can speak for an hour and you may not really get the gist of the journey. To appreciate the journey, you have to embark on the journey yourself.
Right.
But it was a It has been and continues to be a wonderful journey. There have been ups, there have been downs, and I take the good with the bad, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it. I'm enjoying
Okay.
the journey.
Well, that is wonderful to hear.
Thank you.
You speak about there being ups and downs.
Yes.
Could you perhaps identify one, I would call it memorable, but maybe one moment that stands out for you that you sometimes sit back and reflect and, maybe it puts a smile on your face. You feel proud of yourself for embarking, on this particular journey, as we're calling it.
That memorable moment, I would say I would look at my life
Okay.
in that there was a time before when my life was really heading in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of those songs, well, I sing, so forgive me. I must make reference to a song somewhere. Um, my life was heading down, down, down. My head was spinning round, round, and round.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus came in and he took that and he placed me into ministry. So many times I would jokingly say, I thank God that he has put his hand on me because
Right.
the road that I was going, I would not have been who I am today. I would not. I would not. It
Yeah.
was a full and complete life of the world.
Yeah.
And again, going back to what I said in the beginning, a place where I just knew church, but I did not know God.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I can safely say almost that ministry saved you, Mark.
Well, yes,
Yes.
you have all right to say so, and I say that too.
Okay.
Ministry,
Wonderful.
this life of ministry has saved me.
Great. I'm happy to hear that. That really is a beautiful story to share. And you speak about those challenging moments.
Mhm.
Any particular one, comes back to you because people feel oftentimes, you're in ministry, so you are the right hand of God, and well, you have no problems, that all is well
I
with you.
I am glad you did that. You asked that and you made that because it is really an assumption a lot of persons carry that
Mhm,
because
mhm.
we wear this color and we are
Yes.
seated, somehow we are seated at the right hand of God.
Oh, yeah.
I That's one seat I don't want. Yes, I leave that
Right.
for those who are way above me. Um, but challenging in the sense that you're talking about a young man who has decided to give up the
Mm,
worldly pleasures,
mhm.
the things that will charm me the most. I was a
Right.
limer. I would have enjoyed life. Yes, I mean, you're young, so you go out, you go to parties, you go to line, you go here, you go
Right.
there. Um, I'm speaking the Queen English now because every other two words back then, you would swear say I was a fisherman. Um,
I
so
am
I'm being honest.
surprised, Reverend Samuel.
I'm being honest, and you see, because and those are parts of the struggle because the entire
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle has to
Mm-hmm.
change. The way
Mm-hmm.
you walk, the way you talk, the way you
Yeah.
carry yourself with a different purpose, a purpose knowing that you you belong to God. And
Yeah.
so that was a challenge for me because again, I go back to knowing church and not knowing God.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to challenge that so that you are able to come into that knowing that you are a child of God and that, yes, you may sin and fall short of the glory, but there is room for you to come to Him again
Yes.
and know that, yes, it's going to be all right. You may fall, but it's going to be all right. And that was one of my challenges, setting
Yeah.
aside the world and really focusing on what the call has been placed on my life. On this.
Lovely, lovely. Is there any particular aspect of your ministry that you are, you're passionate about? Whether it's working with young people or maybe ministering
Yes.
who are less fortunate? Any particular aspect you're sort of relates towards?
It is working with young people. Um,
I think I knew the question
my,
to that, the answer, sorry, to
you
that
know the
question to
answer for
ask.
that, yes, because of my heavy involvement in like the happening movement of Trinidad and
Yes,
Tobago.
yes.
Also, one of my, I would say one of my babies is the Risen and Real camp that, because of COVID, we couldn't have I think our ninth year
Mm-hmm.
as, wonderful, just being able to minister to 100 young people. Um,
Amazing. Amazing.
I get off by that because I appreciate the consecration of the Mass. I appreciate all of that. But once God gives me life to minister to his people, whoever they are, wherever
Yeah,
they are,
yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm
Okay.
good with that.
Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely, lovely. Looking ahead, though, Reverend Samuel, do you have any particular aspirations in this vocation that you're called
No,
serving? No?
no, no. I have learned over my years in ministry that God directs my path.
Amen. Definitely.
And I have honestly made a firm affirmation that wherever he leads, I will go.
Mm,
I do not want to set up myself and say in the next 5 years I would want to finish it. I would want to do this.
right.
But then it's not about God. I
Yes.
always have to remember it's about me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I may want to do something for the church in this particular congregation, but is it really what they want?
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to ask God,
Yeah.
what do you want me to do for these people here?
Mm-hmm.
And he has opened some doors to that in guiding one way, in talking one way, in reaching out in another way.
Yeah.
So it's, I do not want to get into the habit of mine. And I have created this. So I was never taught that growing up as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Everything belongs to God.
Right.
So therefore, that is how I continue to live my life. That this is what he wants me to do, then that is what it is. Ordination was never on my list. I tell you, it was never on my list.
Really?
No,
Okay. Okay. And
just a minister. And
yes,
then it
yes.
happened
In whatever form that takes.
in whatever form it took. And then ordination happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank God for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Uh, we are in the midst of a pandemic, Reverend Samuel.
Yes. Yes.
How has that affected you? And maybe tell us also how that has affected your congregation and
Mhm.
how have you been able to cope?
First, we acknowledge those who have suffered during this time of the COVID.
Yes. Yeah.
We pray for the souls of those who have died with regards to being positive and did not survive this
Mm-hmm.
global pandemic. We
Mm-hmm.
pray for the families and we remember them.
Yes,
It
definitely.
is a worldwide discomfort that we're all experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
Me here, I have experienced a bit of discomfort as much as I have experienced some positivity out of it.
Yeah.
My discomfort would have been, I'm just settling into the parish and then COVID comes because my 1 year anniversary as deacon of ordination was under heavy COVID restrictions that we had to do our
Ah.
1 year anniversary via Zoom.
Mm.
Yeah, and normally you would have been in a church doing
Right.
such,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
but however, it was done via Zoom. We still were able to meet, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And so it has affected in that way. It has affected that personal one-on-one with the congregants. In as much as you will pick up the phone and call, because like for one thing, what I know we introduced and members are really happy about it is that
Right.
they So you would know someone's birthday is today or tomorrow,
Right.
and you will call the clergy and let us know, and then we will call the person and
Oh,
pray
so
for
you
the
get your
person.
your
So you get a
personal from the,
personal.
oh my gosh.
Uh, it warms the heart.
Of course.
It warms the
Of
heart. So
course.
there are some parishes, the same would work.
Mm-hmm.
There's some, it's different. So for us, we have done our thing on Zoom again. We have to work with the Zoom.
Yes.
There is also a group that calls around every week, a different group of persons, and they pray for 1 hour.
Well, that's beautiful.
So
Yeah.
it's just unique ways of trying to reach
Yeah.
out to people.
Yes. Yes.
It's in some cases it's not working because again we have those who are not well tech savvy.
Yeah.
So that too is a challenge.
It's a
You
challenge
have
for them.
you
Yeah.
have those who refuse to enter the technological world. So what you're gonna do?
Right.
And then you
Some
have
though who
those
have used this opportunity
infrastructure.
to enter, to learn,
Yes,
to
yes,
become a bit more savvy.
a bit more, yes. So
Yes.
it's a mixture. It's a
Right.
mixture. But
Of
I thank
course.
God
Of
that the
course.
people we are still connected and we are aware as to what is taking place.
Yes. And that is most important,
Yes, it is.
being
It is.
connected.
It
One of
is.
the
Thank you.
buzzwords now is pivoting. So even the church has had to pivot.
Yes, yes.
So
As I have said,
yes.
it has gone into is another dimension.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's just where we are today. That's where we are.
Certainly, certainly. All right. It's important for all of us to find
Mhm.
balance, yes,
Mhm.
between our work life, we could call it our professional life,
Yes.
or personal life, the family aspect of things.
Mhm.
How do you, Reverend Samuel, ensure that, you remain balanced? Of course, you remain healthy as well, nurturing, the spiritual, mental, and physical aspect
Okay.
of yourself.
Um, it is a challenge. It can be a challenge at times because the church is demanding.
Yeah.
Church ministry is demanding. I
Mhm.
often say it is a 24/7 job. We are always on call.
Yes.
Um, you could now be having breakfast and something happens.
Right.
Yeah, you're on call.
Yes.
You could just drive into the driveway and someone calls. Not that you have to drive back out,
Right.
but you may have to go and sit in the office and just take this phone call
Yeah.
and bring comfort.
Yeah.
How do I find that balance? I really pray to God for it. I
Mm-hmm.
have suffered in it, in that there have been times my family, when I say my family, not my marriage life, I am not married, just
Right.
to say, no children.
Okay.
So it is my family, as in my parents, grandparents, and aunts.
Right.
That extended family I'm talking about. That striking the balance to them was a bit challenging for me because when I was always accessible, because there was a period when I was always home. And then when ministry took place, then I had to go over to college. It's a little bit less more of Mark, a little less more of
Mm-hmm.
Mark. And you feel it because you for yourself feel that. And so you have to really strike. So there have been times when I've been called to preach somewhere. And I will be honest, it's not a confession. I'm being called to preach somewhere, and I say, I'm not able to come
Mm.
because I really want to stay home.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stay home and talk and laugh with the family.
Right.
The family has found a balance with me because, again, that's where you're comfortable. So when I'm home, I'm Mark.
Yes.
I am Mark. So there
No,
was
no,
not,
Reverend Samuel.
no. There wasn't that. There wasn't that at all. But
Right.
and even health-wise too, that too can be a challenge. And I
Mm-hmm.
recently suffered from that. I learned it the hard way. Um, Recently being hospitalized. And I
Mm-hmm.
take this moment to really thank the church and the community for reaching out and praying for me while I was at hospital. And I really thank you for your prayers and your love. And that too would have caused me to rethink, take time for self.
Yes, yeah.
Because even Jesus himself did it, take time for self.
Yeah.
Because there will come a time when, well, unfortunately, you're in hospital. Thank God it stopped there. And it's beyond that. And so it is a bit of a struggle, but one has to know how to balance and really cope and put things in timeline so that, okay, this is what I'm doing, that is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Don't bite off more than you can chew.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I have to be telling myself that now a little more so that I am aware. I mean, there's only one of me, but yet ministry continues.
Yes. Yeah.
In my presence or in my absence, ministry continues.
Right. I always like the expression that you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes, yes. And
That
that
stays with me, you know.
that is
You need
yes,
to
that
fill
is
up a
true.
little bit,
Yes.
fuel yourself,
Mhm.
and then then you can go again. Yeah,
Mhm.
very very important, very
Indeed.
important lesson.
And not only for the physical, but also for the spiritual life.
Oh,
You
certainly,
must be able to
certainly, yes,
read a book, go and take 2 days and just sit in prayer, or, something like that. And that is one
yes.
of the positive too for me personally during COVID. I was able to have some of that time in spirituality.
Ah, lovely. Some quiet,
Deepen
Reverend
my
Samuel
spiritual growth.
moments.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Not all really a Reverend Samuel moment, but a Mark moment
Okay,
that goes into, that spirituality.
I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Thank you.
Very, very, very important. I always.
Yes.
All right. So we move on to some lighter questions, Reverend Sam.
Sure.
Yes. Tell us one story in the Bible that you enjoy preaching about, or sharing or teaching others about. Do you have any? Like
I think
you have a go-to story.
I wouldn't say a go-to story is one that just um, brings life into perspective for me. When it is at the baptism of Jesus' baptism, which was his beginning of his ministry life.
Right.
I think that is in the book of John or Luke. Both of them would have given their description and
Visions of
interpretation
it.
of
Yeah.
it. And we know John baptized Jesus in the River Jordan. And there's when the Holy Spirit descended upon him, and God spoke,
Mm-hmm.
"This is my son, the beloved, in whom I am well
Well,
pleased."
please. Yeah.
And I translate that to us also, that even for us, when we receive our baptism, it is like that God is saying to us, "This is my son, this is my child, this is my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
my beloved, in whom I am well pleased, and I have found favor." And
Right.
so it gives people that reassurance that I'm good. In spite of what I'm going through, I am a child of God and I am
Yes.
favored by him because I am his beloved. I I am receiving his grace in
Mm-hmm.
spite of.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that.
Okay. Good.
I would use that.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Welcome.
You mentioned earlier that you enjoy singing. So is there like a favorite hymn that really lifts your spirit every time you hear it or sing it?
Well, the entire I would say ancient and modern, from the first hymn to the
Ah,
last hymn. But one which
yes.
really gets at me and reminds me of myself
Mm-hmm.
is hymn 427, "Through all the changing scenes of life, in
Mm-hmm.
trouble and in joy, the
Right.
praises of our God shall sing, our hearts and tongue employ. O magnify the Lord with me, with thee exalt his holy name. When in distress to him I call, he too my rescue came." That's me.
Yeah. But Reverend Samuel, you disappointed me. I thought you were going to sing it.
Through all the changing scenes of life, in trouble and in joy, the praises of my God shall still my heart and tongue employ.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Again. One thing you cannot live without on a daily basis, Reverend Samuel. One thing.
God.
Ah,
Had
yes.
it not been for him, I would not be where I am today. I really can't. I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything else? I mean, when I entered ministry, I liked this and I liked that, and I'm surviving without it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you have a pet peeve, Reverend Samuel? Something that, cause you to shift a little bit, yeah? And then you have to remember whose you are.
Um, hmm. I I know, like sometimes if I'm in the middle of a praise and worship or something, and when I'm ministering and I see two persons speaking while that is happening,
Right.
I just had to pull myself back and say, Jesus, take them.
Right.
Because it's like, we're in a moment, but yet both of us have
Yes.
conversation. Come on. We in a little,
Yes, yes. Stay with us. Stay with us.
yeah, there's, yes, stay with me, stay with me.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to dictate your perfect day, what will that involve? Of course, because I know you're going to tell me that. What will that perfect day involve?
Perfect day for me.
Yes.
Don't call, don't text, don't
Uh-huh.
message, don't write.
Right.
I'll just be locked in my room. That's it.
That's it.
Nothing, nothing to do for the day. Just one day to just, yeah.
I feel like I'm hearing a cry though, Reverend Samuel. Is that
Well, you
so?
never know. I might be crying in that moment because I'm really communing with God. But
Right.
other than that, ministry, a perfect day for me is just involving myself in ministry and doing God's work.
Yes,
I
yes.
always remember every Sunday I would be in church. And there was this one Sunday I did not go to church. And I was miserable for the entire week.
You
I was miserable for the entire week. And I'm like, Mark, this is not to happen to you again. Well, I mean, I get older now and stuff. So if when I take vacation or such and I have a Sunday off, I'm able to, just say, well, okay, I don't have anything to do today. So
right.
I'm just going to rest today. Or
Yes.
go to another church that doesn't know me, which kind of not really too easy. But
Yeah.
sometimes I will go to a different denomination
Ah,
and
okay.
just sit and So there have been
Yeah.
times I'm on leave,
Yeah.
and I will go to a different denomination
Right.
and just
Just
walking casual.
experience. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I ain't coming to criticize or anything. Yeah, so like from where I'm from, Point, and the people know me because they grew up in the village and stuff. But at the same
Okay.
time, they really know you.
Right.
So when they see you, it's like, oh, welcome, how you going? And just sit
Welcome.
down. And not no
Yes.
front seat kind of a welcome, eh? Hey,
Yes.
how you going? And but to see how your grandmother going and
Yes.
because they know you
Yeah.
through that. And I
Right.
just sit in the back and take in service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get
It's
a
the
different,
fellowship. It's just a
it's
different,
fellowship,
yeah.
yeah. You
Yeah, the
hear a
different
different
kind.
voice, you hear a different thing, a different swag, and
Mm-hmm.
I go again. I go again.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. All right. So we have a simple game, Reverend Samuel. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Simple. I am going to give you a word or a phrase, and
Yes.
you just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't overthink it. Just,
Right.
maybe one or two words, just the first thing that comes to mind. All right? I see you took a sip of water there. So.
Yes. Let me see if I can get this.
Wonderful. It's not. We just have about like 6 or so. So nothing to be worried
Okay, no
about. Okay?
problem. Sure.
Wonderful. Are you ready, Reverend Samuel?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. The first word, point 14. I should say phrase, word, place. Point 14.
Home.
Lovely.
Home.
Uh, Holy Cross, Marabella.
The start of my ministry in my diaconate life.
Okay. That was a sentence, but I'll let it pass.
Thank you. One word, one word.
Yeah,
All right.
just one, just one.
Let me stick to the one word. Let me stick to the one
That's
word.
okay.
Thank you.
That's all right. That's okay. The ordained ministry. You're overthinking it, Reverend Samuel.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Trinidad.
Culture.
Mm-hmm. So
Culture.
go.
Food.
Yeah, that's one of the
Food.
things that come to mind for me also. But we'd
Food.
save that for another interview. But yes, I
Yeah,
agree. I
sure. I mean,
agree.
I was going to say home, but then I didn't want to
Yes,
cause
upset certain
any
people.
conflict.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll say food.
All right. Online worship.
Evolving.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Love.
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 Enduring.
And the last one, happiness.
Ministry.
Oh.
Yes.
Wasn't too bad.
Thank you very much.
Ah, Reverend Samuel, in closing,
Yes.
ask if you can share.
We're finished already. Okay.
Yes, would you believe? I know we were having fun.
They said it does fly when you're having fun.
It does, it does, it does.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. But I want to ask you if you can share any words of inspiration with persons. I want to focus on young persons and in particular our young men.
Young man. Yeah.
Who may be interested also in being a part of your vocation, of this vocation.
I say to you, you would feel a challenge, a fight.
Mm.
You would feel a struggle. Sometimes it will feel as if inside is knotting up and you're choking.
Mm-hmm.
That's God and you fighting. Like David, when he fought, as the psalmist says, and David said, "Where can I go and flee from you? I go to the high, you're there. I go low, you are there. As far as the east is from the west, you are there also." We would struggle. I have struggled and I continue to struggle. And as a young man, I struggled with my call into this ministry, into this vocation, into ordained life.
Yeah.
But I fought with it. And I fought with it for a purpose because I wanted to know what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
When we don't fight with it, we wouldn't get an end result. The hymn writer again tells us, fight the good fight with all thy might.
All might, yes.
God continues to look after you, continues to provide for you, as he did with me. I did not have the best in life growing up, but I had what was meaningful. I too had my challenges with family life and persons, insulting you about joining ministry and, saying, well,
Mm-hmm.
we're going into that for. Sometimes the
Mm-hmm.
first thing they say, that I had no money in it.
Right.
But that's not why you come into ministry.
Yes.
That is not why you come. You come into ministry not only to serve God, but his people, wherever they are,
Yes.
whoever they are.
Yeah.
And if you find that knotting up taking place, talk to God. If for some reason you don't recognize his voice or his response, then talk to someone about it
Mm-hmm.
who you
Yeah.
think is able to recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us, me and those before, might not have had the opportunity some of us have today, where there are persons
They
evolving
can
in
speak.
ministry
Yes.
that
Yes.
you can speak to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are areas, there are persons that you can speak to. And if perchance, the first person you go to and tells you that is not for you, and you feel doubt, just
Mm-hmm.
like if you are sick and you go to the doctor, get a second opinion.
Right.
Get a second opinion
Yes. Yeah.
and think about it and work with it. And now,
Mm-hmm.
ministry, I would share with you, and for you who are listening, it's not always going to end up you being ordained. There are different vocations in the church. There are
Right.
different ministries in the church in which you can explore. So don't get a fear that, well, because, they say, oh gosh, it doesn't always mean that you will end up a priest.
Yes.
But there's intercessory ministry. There is
Yes.
deliverance ministry. There is sick visitation ministry. All of that are different ministries and vocations within the communion of the church. So you become ordained. I thank God for that.
Right.
But before I could have reached here, I first dealt with the struggle, the knotting up, and what is this? I tried this, nothing happened. I tried that, nothing happening.
Right.
What is this? And that is when God is really speaking to you. But in the tender ears we have, we are not able to hear him or fully
Mm-hmm.
understand that it is him who is speaking to him or
Yes.
speaking to you.
Right.
So that is what I would say. Fight with it. It's okay to fight with that. It's
Yes.
quite okay.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, God will always win. At the end of the day, God will always win.
Indeed. Indeed.
But however, you still would not lose, because when God wins, you win the battle too.
Certainly.
When
Certainly.
you're fighting with God, you will never lose. He will win.
Yes.
He
Yes.
will always win. And when he wins, you win. Because
Yes.
he recognizes that, yes, you're struggling and you accept and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing. No matter what people say, no matter what they say about me and continue to say about me,
No.
but I say, God, I say, God.
Yes.
Very personal, I will share with you. I remember my grandfather, he's now deceased.
Mm-hmm.
When he first heard I was going into ministry, he said, no, I will get you a job and you would, no, 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 you're not going to, that ain't making,
Really?
that's not making any money. And I said, but this is what I want to do. And every time I go to visit him, it's the same thing. You're still in that church thing, that church thing, that church thing.
Oh my.
But I must say, I struggled with that because it did not have a full 100% relationship with him and I.
Right.
However, God was able to turn that around. That when he took ill, and this is not to boast,
Mm-hmm.
when he took ill, he sought me for prayers. And he was able, before he died, to tell me that he was proud of me.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
he now understands why I was doing what I was doing.
Amen.
And I thank God for that.
Yes.
I
Yes.
thank God for that. And I'm saying that to let anyone know and everyone know you are going to get challenges even from
Yes.
within. But you have to remember the greater, and that's God, and then his people, and then you would be taken care of.
Right.
Thank you.
So this is fighting the good fight.
Good fight with all thy might.
With all of might.
But always remember, God will win.
Of course, of
And if
course.
he's winning, you would win also.
Certainly, certainly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Reverend Samuel, for
And I thank you.
us. It really was.
It was indeed.
And this time with you.
Thank you.
Of course, our prayer is that the good Lord continues to richly bless and keep you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well received. Thank you.
Great. Take care.
And yourself. God's blessing.
God bless.